Sure, here's the full voiceover script in a storytelling style, complete with an emotional arc and cinematic descriptions of the interactions. The script also includes the necessary build-up, conflict resolution, and an open-ended ending for engagement. I never imagined that I'd end up being the talk of my neighborhood. But life has a funny way of pushing you into situations you never saw coming. You see, I'm Damon Ellis, and I've been living in my dream house for 3 years now, right here on Pine Hill Drive. It's a small suburban neighborhood, quiet, peaceful, until it wasn't. I worked my ass off for everything I have, every brick, every corner of this house. And let's not forget the crown jewel of it all, my backyard pool. Oh, that pool. I saved for years, working overtime, weekends, doing whatever I could to turn my little backyard into a paradise. Custom built, heated with LED lights that change colors. My pride, my joy. It wasn't just a place to swim. It was proof that hard work pays off. Every morning, I'd sip my coffee, look out the kitchen window, and just smile at what I'd built. It felt like a little piece of heaven. Then there's Natasha Stevens, my next-door neighbor. At first, she seemed like just another neighbor, polite but distant. She and her husband, Frank, have lived here for a while. Natasha's in her mid-50s, but she carries herself with a kind of entitlement. Not in an obvious way, but you notice it. The way she'd leave little passive-aggressive notes in the mailbox about parking, or the time she scolded me for not trimming my hedges properly. Small things, but it started to get under my skin after a while. I didn't mind too much, though. I thought, just keep your distance, Damon, and things will be fine. Little did I know, that distance was about to be shattered in the most ridiculous way. It all started on a Tuesday morning in late June. I was working from home, just taking a break between client calls. I glanced out the window and saw something strange. At first, I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me. But then I grabbed my binoculars to judge me. I'm a bird watcher and I couldn't believe what I saw. There she was, Natasha, in my pool, doing laps like she owned the place. Bright yellow swimsuit, splashing around like it was the most normal thing in the world. My first instinct was to march out there and confront her. But then I thought, no, Damon, hold off. Something about it felt too bold, too brazen, like she was testing me. So I just watched. And I saw her swim for about 30 minutes. Then, as casually as you please, she climbed out, grabbed one of my towels from the shed, and strolled back to her house. Like it was no big deal. I couldn't believe it. Who does that? Who just decides to waltz into someone's backyard and swim in their pool without so much as a hello? I was in shock and anger, but I told myself to stay calm. It had to be a one-time thing, right? That night, I checked my security cameras. I'd installed a full system when I moved in, partly for security and partly because, well, I'm a bit of a tech geek. As I scrolled through the footage, I felt my blood pressure rise. This wasn't her first time. She'd been doing it for weeks. Every Tuesday and Thursday morning, when most people were at work, she'd slip through a gap in the shared fence, like a thief in the night, and just make herself at home. I could see it all, her routine. She'd bring her own float, a ridiculous inflatable flamingo, and hide it in my shed after using it. She'd even help herself to drinks from my mini fridge. The audacity was mind-blowing. She wasn't just swimming. She was acting like the place belonged to her. Adjusting my pool chairs, using my outdoor shower, and get this, complaining about my pool maintenance while she was trespassing. Yeah, she was inspecting the leaves in the pool like I was personally failing her. I had to do something. But what? Confront her? She'd deny it, play the VY Tim, and try to turn the tables on me. No, this called for a strategy. I wasn't going to act on impulse. I needed to teach Natasha a lesson, but I wasn't going to do anything rash. So, I spent hours researching property law, trespassing statutes, and neighborhood dispute resolution. And I came up with a plan. A clever one, too. Natasha thought she could just walk into my backyard and use my pool whenever she felt like it. Well, I was about to make her regret that. The next day, I decided to take a day off work. I set my plan into motion. I had installed a smart pool heating system the year before. And guess what? I could control the temperature from my phone. So, I decided to heat the water to a level that would make her uncomfortable, just enough to send her a message. Around 9:30, I saw her through the window, creeping around the fence again. I had to admit, she had some guts. She waited for me to leave, slipped in, and got herself ready to swim. The moment she dipped her toe in, I cranked up the heat. Slowly at first. I watched from my office window, grinning to myself. I could see her confusion as the water started getting warmer. She swam for a bit, but you could tell she was getting uncomfortable. Her movements slowed, and I couldn't help but enjoy it. Then, the real fun started. She tried to get out, but the water was so hot that she slipped and struggled to coordinate her movements. I walked outside, pretending to be surprised. "Oh my goodness, Natasha, what are you doing in my pool? And why are you all red? Are you having an allergic reaction?" Her face, oh man, I wish you could have seen it. Red, flustered, sputtering. She was caught. But instead of apologizing, she doubled down. "Damon, thank goodness you're here," she said, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. "I was just checking on your pool, and the water got scalding hot. I think there's something wrong with it." I couldn't hold it in anymore. I pulled out my phone and showed her that the pool temperature was exactly where I'd left it. "Everything seems fine on my end, Natasha. Are you sure you're feeling okay? You look a bit flushed." That's when the real fireworks began. She started accusing me of setting traps for her, of trying to hurt her. That's when I realized something deeper was going on. She wasn't just mad about the pool. She was mad because she didn't think someone like me should be in this neighborhood. "You don't belong here," she said, looking me dead in the eye. "People like you don't deserve to live in places like this." I froze. Did she just say what I thought she said? I had to keep my cool, but inside, I was boiling. I tried to stay calm. "People like me? What exactly do you mean, Natasha?" She didn't even try to hide it. "This neighborhood used to be respectable," she sneered. "Before it got so diverse." There it was. The mask slipped, and I saw her for what she really was. A racist. A woman who thought she could control who belonged and who didn't. That's when I knew. This wasn't just about a pool anymore. It was about power. About control. About her thinking she could dictate who belonged in this community based on their skin color. But I wasn't going to back down. I calmly said, "You've been trespassing on my property for weeks, using my pool without permission. And now, you're trying to make this about me? About my race? I'm not the problem here. You are." But she wasn't done. Natasha yelled for her husband, Frank, a cop. When he came outside, he sided with her immediately, like I expected. He said I'd attacked his wife. But I had proof. I pulled out my phone again, showing the security footage. Her eyes widened as she realized her lies were unraveling. But instead of apologizing, she accused me of planning all of it. That's when Frank tried to take matters into his own hands. He attacked me. Now, let me tell you something, this wasn't my first fight. I've trained in martial arts for years. So when Frank came charging at me, I sidestepped him and used his momentum against him. He stumbled, and that was the end of that. But things were far from over. Natasha had a camera in her bag, and what the cops found on that camera shook everyone to their core. Hours of footage of me and my house. She'd been stalking me, documenting every move I made. But it didn't stop there. The police uncovered something even worse. Natasha was part of an organized harassment network targeting people like me. They found chat logs, plans to drive people out of their homes just because of their race. And in a twist no one saw coming, Natasha was planning to use my own pool as a way to provoke me into a reaction. It was all part of a sick scheme to make me seem dangerous, so the neighborhood would turn on me. But that's not what happened. Instead, Natasha's life fell apart. She was arrested for stalking, trespassing, and conspiracy to commit a hate crime. Her husband, Frank, was left in shock. He never knew what his wife had been up to. In the end, the community rallied around me. My pool became a symbol of resistance, not just to Natasha, but to the kind of hatred she tried to impose. Our neighborhood became stronger, more connected, more diverse. And as I sit here today, watching my neighbors gather around the pool, I know one thing for sure. The best revenge is levying well. So what do you think? Was Natasha just a product of her upbringing? Or is there a deeper, more dangerous mentality lurking in some of these suburban communities? Leave a comment below, share your thoughts. Let's keep the conversation going. And remember, no one has the right to make you feel like you don't belong. Stand your ground, and never let anyone take your peace.